Reno Omokri said Nigeria is better than Nepal. My people, let me ask you something. Is hunger better than hunger? Let's talk the truth. If Nigeria is a better place for Reno, why Reno Omokri know they stay this Nigeria? Why not carry a family, make their school here, make them live their life here? This is the same person that said Nigeria is politically stable and economically progressive. Stable for who? Progressive for who? If the country is okay, then people they go into high sea, they die inside sea. Say it's better for them to die in the sea than to die in Nigeria here. Reno, your matter before, we just keep our corner before. But now, we will use your matter as an example to show other activists. If you be activist, just stay on your activist space. No come they die with the government, put one leg with the government, put one leg for activists, say you be activist. No, you see your matter now. That your matter be the next matter to the table now. We will open some file for you. So next time, if you go down your tweet, you won't tweet, make you know say people they will know you pass as you know yourself. So now most Nigeria will not know you. Then they feel like one big important person, but you're also a slave. So we are coming to review how you become a slave in your father's land. We will review it to you. Now we'll get your time. Just hold on, wait for us.
Look at all the things that are going on in Nigeria. Where is your president? Vacationing in France. People are dying in Zamfara, dying in Katsina. He said he's going on vacation.
No, it was work leave.
Work leave. There is no place in Nigeria that you can attract tourism where you can walk. Look at what is going on with Nepal. Okay, now, our educational system, ASU is threatening to go on strike. Telling you the instability in the educational system. The doctors and nurses are on strike or threatening to go on strike. Telling you the instability going on in the healthcare. You just told me what is happening in the oil industry. Nupeng, this going on strike. Telling you the instability in oil industry. Look at the contractors. Since 2024, they have not been paid. Telling you the risk that is going on in our infrastructural development. A country that the education, the healthcare, and the infrastructure are in problem is a country in distress. We have more malnourished children now in Nigeria than in Sudan. Can't you see that a woman, the child died because she couldn't afford transport to take the child to the hospital because of malaria? People are suffering. People are dying. And this president is vacationing in Paris, wearing the best of suits, laughing at the suffering of Nigerians. So God should save us from APC.
Just one moment. Are you saying then that if the presidential candidate of your party, as will emerge, should clinch it in 2027, that person will never go on leave in 4 years?
Tinubu has spent more time almost abroad than in Nigeria. When did he return from the last one?
That hasn't answered my question.
No. What I'm saying is I cannot speak for any other person, but I can tell you that most serious presidents with the problems Nigeria have, I don't see them vacationing in foreign countries, promoting the tourism of that foreign countries.
I think I hear of this story of Charlie Kirk, the guy they assassinate for the US state of Utah. Within about 48 hours after that murder, FBI don't come out say a suspect has been taken into custody. They don't even name the suspect. Want somebody, Tyler Robinson. That is in a country where law enforcement is responsive and responsible. Because some people go talk, say, Peter, every time your own to the talk, government, which one be your own? Part of my work and my responsibility now, between now and 2027, for me, is to try to redirect the focus of Nigerians to the root cause of our problems. I may not be successful, I pray I'm successful, but even if I'm not, at least my conscience go declare, say, I did my best. Because if we fail to address the root cause of our problems, as a country, we can be angry for 65 years and we will be taking the wrong decision. Even if there is a revolution or a protest today, it must be directed in the right cause. If not, you can do protests and still end up with more problems. You see this issue of justice and law enforcement, I just think, have you noticed that that every time when we get person where die, where we say justice for this, justice for that, at the end, they be like Indian film because they get end. You know why? Because the institutions will get the legal and legitimate duty to protect life and to get justice. Once they fail to be able to carry out their duties, we may just be laboring in vain. So we they go round and round in circle. Any law enforcement that cannot protect the life of the living cannot give justice to the dead. We will just be wasting our time because it's easier to heal the sick than raise the dead. So law enforcement job is to first of all ensure that the life of citizens are protected. Then when there is inevitable death, they step in to ensure justice and accountability. In Nigeria, where is the justice? Where is the accountability? October 20 this year will make it 5 years of NSAS protest. Una remember, say this same government where they talk, say do not do violent protests, do not be violent. Almost every protest where Nigerians come out to protest against something where they bother them, it has always been peaceful. The people where they import the violence are the same politicians. The videos remember the videos and pictures of when government vehicles were carrying thugs that attack peaceful NSAS protesters. Pictures of people were carrying machetes, they attack peaceful protesters. Still today, not one person was arrested. Rather, now even NSAS protesters, some of them were in prison up till this year, 2025, in a country that is looking for peace. Where can you get peace without justice? Tomorrow, when I go talk, say the US is older than Nigeria. So Nigeria at 65 years, we go continue for Uriburuku. If we continue doing the wrong thing, even at 300 years, we will get the wrong results. That is where Nigeria did. The strongest intelligence of Nigerian police is once you say there is peaceful protest. Once there is a protest, they go get intelligence. If something happened to big man or person will get connection, they can use the whole military and law enforcement power to look for the suspect. But the ordinary citizens, now God hand on a day. You cannot have peace in that kind of a nation. You cannot have stability where justice is for the highest bidder. If we fail to fix the root cause of our problem, which is our criminal justice system and our government, 2027, all this one why they talk every day, INEC, this, my neck. Let me be very honest with you. They no one do election free and fair. They want to rig. My own duty is to try to call Nigerians' attention, say, put your spotlight, everybody chook eye for this particular issue. If everybody mounts, every Nigerian come out and say, they cannot rig all of us. They cannot rig their way through millions of people to power. They can only rig if we give them the way to do it. That is why we must place focus on government and leadership. Once it is working, say institutions, they do what they're supposed to do, Nigerians will begin to get rest of mind. Now for Nigeria, you go see, say in the middle of war, Boko Haram, they kill people, government go come and say we are doing Operation Safe Corridor. Say that we want to rehabilitate repentant terrorists. Nobody say the killings don't stop, the terrorism don't finish. You use government money to empower people where say they repent. Meanwhile, the families of people where they kill, they IDP camp, they no get school, they no get food, they no get life. Sure, Nigeria. Nigerian law enforcement, but Nigerians, all of us must wake up and put spotlight. All the NSAS panel reports, the officers where they've been cast say they do one thing, police brutality, where are they? What happened to all those reports? The officers where they come out from disband from SARS, where they go, they carry them, go put for mainstream police. That is problem that has changed name and location. We cannot continue like this. Any revolution is a revolution against bad government. And Nigerians, if we are able to fix these institutions, you go see, it go be like saying a magic. But as long as we no fix them, 2027, they come back another 4 years of talk and complain. For how long? Nigerian police, congratulations on your level of intelligence. We know that we are just 65 years. Maybe by the time we reach 700 years of Methuselah, we go get better intelligence.
Absolutely. I mean, we are politicians. And in politics, only few doors are permanently closed. And we also know that we are playing a game of number. And that number is addition, not subtraction. So we'll be happy to talk to anyone who is willing to talk. Anyone that has, we have people, even those within the leadership, the rank of the leadership that voluntarily resigned their position. We had people who had expressed one grievances or another. And we have managed those, recognized their grievances, legitimate grievances, and we have dealt with those. But when people are just being belligerent, to the extent that you have no reason to doubt that they had ulterior motive, which is to destabilize the party and filibuster and create a condition that make it difficult for the party to move forward, then we can't continue to appease those kind of people. So tomorrow, if whoever is willing to sit down to have conversation, to say, look, this is my grievance, or these are my grievances, and I will be happy for it to be addressed. I can assure you that those grievances will be addressed to the extent that they could be accommodated. But if what you are doing is to continue to drag the party back, to continue to create a condition that Nigerians would think that we are permanently in crisis, don't forget this was the same thing that was done to PDP. This was the same thing that was done to Labour Party. This was the same thing that was done to SDP. And the same agents that were driving this, the same forces that were driving this, that are also driving these particular individuals. The person that went to court, with due respect, I'm very confident that I know him. I'm very confident that he doesn't have the resources to push this. So who is funding it? Who is encouraging him? You know, so if they are willing to talk, we are willing to talk to them. But if what they want to do is to continue to do this thing that they are doing, we'll move on and we'll be willing to match them for whatever it's worth. The question about whether Excellency Peter Obi said he's going to spend only 4 years if given the opportunity, he must know why he's saying so. He must be confident in his ability to deliver. It's a lifelong ambition for him. So he must have done his work and be clear that within 4 years I can. And you see, when the framers of our constitution say 8 years, they didn't say 8 years concurrent. It means that you can do 4 years and take a break and give yourself opportunity to evaluate what you have done and come back in the future. So I don't see anything untoward in what he said. That's number two. Number three, what is clear to us is that whether it's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar or anybody else you've mentioned are members of the ADC. Like thousands of other members of the ADC across the country. Now we have crossed a major hurdle. Now, His Excellency David Mark and Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola can now legitimately sign membership cards. And we can now issue those membership cards. Because what is holding majority of the people across the country is that we cannot issue membership cards. So you can now see people going back to their respective wards and registering. Now, the question of whether we don't have structure. You see, sometimes when we say structure, we politicians understand structure to mean only one thing. How many people can you bring out? Are not going to allow the ADC coalition to just fly without challenge. So when we saw the report yesterday that there's a court order restraining the INEC and the leadership of the ADC from performing their roles, we found it a bit curious in the sense that even as a layman, we know that you give injunction to something that has not happened. And you don't give injunction to something that has already happened. So INEC has already acted and recognized the leadership. So you can't give injunction to something that's already happened. So we found it quite curious. And then we requested for the document, the actual ruling. Then we found that there was actually no such thing. Now that leads us to the logical question. So what was the motive of the people that were spreading this disinformation and misleading the public? But you know, again, you cannot hide, because we saw the people spreading these stories and we saw them, and there are people who are directly connected to people within the government circle. So we know it's the continuation of the same agents of destabilization that have been working so hard to ensure that Nigeria is dragged down to a one-party state. So luckily for us, unfortunately for us, what the ruling was very clear. The prayers that was put before the court was outrightly rejected, and the only thing here that has implication for us is that we should be put on notice and that we should make appearance on September 15. So for us, we think that the decision that brought about the new leadership was taken at the 99th NEC meeting of the party that was observed by the Independent Electoral Commission as required by the process, by the rules. And some of you were there. The decision to bring in the new leadership was unanimously carried. So what you find is a situation where a small number of minority, 1 or 2 people, are going behind to begin to say they object to what has been done, even though they could not stop the NEC from taking that decision. So it's a curious situation that the minority, the same minority will now seek to go to court and use the court to overturn the decision that the party has taken. And don't forget, the question of leadership of a party has been settled by the Supreme Court. The leadership of a party and the candidate of a party is entirely the business and the decision of the party. That's the Supreme Court position. So whatever they are doing is not going to hold water. It's doomed to fail. We just didn't expect that they would go as low as dragging the reputation of the judiciary into their political fight. Because if we didn't see the ruling and we acted on the assumption that the court actually granted them their wish, it will have reflected badly on the judiciary. Because the Federal High Court will have acted in error to grant the kind of request that they are making. So I'm just saying that For us, we are not bothered about it. We expect more of this. It shows the desperation of the people that are behind all this. So we as the African Democratic Congress, we are not going to be bothered by this. We've taken our decisions. We moved on. We are focused now on just building our party. Thank you very much. Well, ordinarily, I wouldn't react to maybe. I will not react to him, but I don't want to show disrespect to you. Since you've asked me, I will respond to your question. Number one, he has no business in this conversation. He's not even a member of the African Democratic Congress. That is very clear. Number two, a one-time presidential candidate or any candidate of a party does not own the party, does not have a say in the direction the party goes. You were given the ticket of the party to run a particular election. That does not make you a permanent candidate of the party and does not arrogate to you the power of the leadership of the party, not of the NWC, not of the neck of the party. So you wonder what is the basis for what this individual is doing. That's number one. Number two, you see, we need to be very careful. There are some narratives that you find people use in the public space that is disturbing. When you begin to castigate people on the account of their age, when does it become a crime to be an older person? These are things that people get arrested for in civilized societies. To profile people in a way that shows that you are excluding them for one reason or the other from their democratic rights. So you keep saying old people, old people. Is it a crime to be an older person? That's number one. Number two, he's talking about recycled politicians. Who politician in this country is not recycled? Mention one politician in this country that has not been to one party or the other or have not held one position or the other. And are we going to manufacture a new political class overnight? It's the same recycled people that will do politics in Nigeria. And we're not going to bring foreigners to play politics in Nigeria. So by the time I've listened to his rhetoric, and like I said, it's wrong, it's divisive, it's inflammatory, and it should be condemned. Because he keeps saying north, south, these northerners. Who talks like that? And this is someone who, no matter how ridiculous, aspired to be a president of Nigeria. And is promoting such divisive and rhetoric. It's quite unfortunate. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Thank you.
Okay, Reno Omokri is here. All this will wolf them when government give work. Maybe they defend them, both formally and informally, you know. That's not what is in their appointment, but now they are working with that. They only defend government. They are trying so hard to discourage Nigerians that we should not protest like the Nepalese, because the consequences will not favor Nigerians. So I'm seeing a post by Reno Omokri. He said, before they deceive you into burning Nigeria like they are burning Nepal, please fact check me. The Lagos State government built the best forensic laboratory in Africa, and that facility was burned to the ground along with other multi-billion naira public infrastructure during the NSAS protest. That was why Mohbad's autopsy had to be done in America rather than Nigeria, making us look like a big for nothing country. 80 BRT buses and several courthouses and police stations were also raised during that protest. And according to the organized private sector, the damage to Lagos stood at $305 million. The funny thing is that many of those who led the NSAS protest in Lagos were neither from Lagos nor even paid taxes in Lagos. Interestingly, they came from states with a humongously worse government than Lagos State. Yet their states were left unharmed when they inflicted serious damage on Lagos' economy. And then last year's days of rage protest inflicted damage worth 200 billion naira on northern Nigeria and almost destabilized Nigeria to the point where Russian flags were being paraded to instigate a Burkina Faso/Mali/Niger type of regime change in Nigeria. So think twice now that they are again instigating you to replicate the Nepal protest in Nigeria. I've been to Nepal. Nigeria is a much better governed space than Nepal. We are politically stable and economically progressive country. Nigeria is the only African country where 5 former presidents or heads of state live peacefully and work with the incumbent government via the Council of State. Before General Buhari's sad demise, there were 6. Now there are 5, including General Gowon, President Obasanjo, General Babangida, General Abubakar, and President Jonathan. And our economy expanded by $67 billion in just 2 years, moving Nigeria's GDP from a 269.29 trillion economy on May 29, 2023, when Asiwaju became president, to 372.8 trillion naira today. However, if this incident of good governance is still not satisfactory and you want to replicate the Nepali protest locally, then please, by all means, start from your state of origin. Reno Omokri was lies a drunkard. Not anybody wants to be Reno Omokri don't hide. You know they talk there. Let's go step by step the things he said. Number one, the full country of Nigeria has only one forensic center that is worthy enough to do autopsy. A full Nigeria with over 200 million people and 36 states. Only one state, Nigeria forensic center, when few do autopsy for Mohbad. And you are still saying we are not a big for nothing country. What big for nothing? Okay, so because of the NSAS, when they burned the forensic center, that made them go do the autopsy for abroad. Why they go treat Buhari for abroad? I mean, they burned the hospital too, we supposed to use. Why Tinubu don't let the travel go abroad anytime I get holiday? Okay, they burned the place is supposed to do holiday for Nigeria. Let them okay. We are a big for nothing country. Stop hyping this thing. Secondly, who is telling you that Nigeria economy grew from 1 trillion to 1 trillion? If Nigeria economy grew, not you go tell us, we go know. We feel impact. They don't explain impact to us. If I have more money in my account, I go know. You not go explain and give me, I go know. If I'm eating better this year than last year, I will know. You sit abroad and explain to us that our economy is better. If our economy is better, why not come back with your family? Mona call this stay here. Now, why don't our children for abroad? The advice us when they say, yeah, good, bring your family, come back. If yeah, really not good. There are many Nigerians that just want a better president to stabilize Nigeria. They want to come back from Europe. The only reason I sit there is because Nigeria is never good. The only reason why your family sit there abroad is because Nigeria is never good and you know it. Now, the last but not the least, I ask again, why Ghanaian politicians not they shake as Nepal they protest? Why is it Nigerian politicians that are shaking? Because people are doing rubbish and you know. Anyway, I would advise Nigerians. The damages that come with a protest is too much for us to handle. If people don't tire for this government, more of now do voters card. Meet us at the polling unit next year. Next 2 years. The day 30 million people will stand up in Nigeria with their voters card, that's the day this nonsense will end. There's a limit to how many elections you can rig. They tried for Lagos last election. How far? They try. But the result was overwhelming. The day 30 million of us will stand up and hit the polling unit. This whole problem will stop. And that's an easier route than protesting and crying ourselves. But these politicians now, they really deserve beating like the Minister of Finance for Nepal.